This is segment 2. We are about to dive into some dum-dums. So remember the first segment that we just covered, Tim, in summation, basically shock value, you're losing the extreme approach is not really working anymore. Listen to this. Here's some examples of that. This is number 7 regarding Kansas. This is the mayor. We can't be fully safe if people are freely walking around with even just a classic revolver. So that you sent me that because genuinely that's what they say. Like, well, now we just can't do guns at all because we can't truly be safe. They're trying to up the shock value. They're trying to move the Overton window forward. That's exactly what you're seeing across the board. You've seen Davey Hogg do AI, dead voices of children. We've seen what I'm about to show you here in the next clip. I've seen Shannon Watts do all sorts of extreme stuff, Giffords.org. They're all trying to vie for the same attention, but it's not working. So they have to go further to the left and more extreme to get the same responses. That's kind of the theme here, right?
Yep,
so
absolutely.
Let's just take all guns. Let's just take all guns because even revolvers are scary.
We're gonna move off the assault weapons and all this other stuff that we constantly rail against, and then we're just gonna say, oh yeah, and then handguns, because we just had that shooting in Kansas City where handguns were involved, and it wasn't assault weapons as much as they wanted them to be. It turns out that apparently they were not. And just for clarification, because I know they're gonna blow this up in the comments, I used to live there. I grew up there. So there is Kansas City, Kansas, which isn't what we're talking about. There's Kansas City, Missouri, which makes very little sense, but Kansas City, Missouri is a much bigger, well-known place, and that's where your major league teams and stuff like that are. So, and that's where this took place.
That is actually true. I kind of got some of that in my comments too. They're like, Kansas City's in Missouri. I was like, I don't think I said it. What?
No, okay, you said, and in Kansas, I'm like, no, this is Missouri, because Kansas City, Missouri is very left-leaning. Kansas City, Kansas is more right-leaning, like the Overland Park area. Woo-woo, shout out to my homies in Overland Park. But yeah, anyway.
If you had a water bottle right now, I would want you to just pour it on the ground. Anyway, one for my homies.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, what's a good conversation about going too far into the extreme for gun control when you can't just talk about John Mellencamp and talking about showing dead bodies on TV? I mean, what's that about?
Yeah. Right? Are we talking about that washed up rocker from the 80s that was caught sitting during the national anthem, stuffing his face with popcorn? Let's just call him by his real name, John Cougar, because it just makes his skin crawl as it should. John Mellencamp. Like, that's John Cougar. Johnny Cougar. Yeah.
Yes. It's that guy. Well, listen to he's being so pragmatic, Tim. Listen to this. This is the headline here. This is number 9. I'm not being callous, and I know it will be painful to see, but sad to say, I think it's the only way to shock America out of its stupor. Well, what could he be talking about? Well, maybe this is what he's talking about, number 11. Quote, if we as a country want to find the collective will within ourselves to change our gun laws, let's stop playing silly political games. Show the carnage on the news. Show the American people the dead children and others who have been struck down. Show us what guns and bullets can do to the human body. Well, that kind of fits right into that outrage shock machine, doesn't it?
Yeah. But these are the same people that when the pro-life groups show aborted fetuses, you can't do that. That's just disgusting and tasteless. But hey, we want to show dead children so we can ban guns. That's not disgusting and tasteless. That's necessary to bring America out of its stupor. So again, they're hypocrites. And yes, if they went forward with something like this, that would be a very leftist mind virus-y type thing to do. I mean, that is just disgusting. Because again, it takes us away from the actual debate and actual facts, actual statistics. And then it just devolves into, oh my gosh, look at the destruction, the horrible wounds inflicted. Okay, well, let's do the same thing with car crashes so we can, pass more restrictive safety belt laws? Maybe we want to ban alcohol. Let's show what the carnage after a DUI driver, a drunk driver has an accident.
Or show a liver or something.
Yeah, I mean, really, I can't even believe somebody would say something so stupid. But then we're talking about John Cougar, so go have a seat, John. They're playing the national anthem somewhere. Stuff your face, jackwagon.
Commies.
I know he is. Ain't that America? Yeah, that is a hammer and sickle you're wearing there, buddy.
Yeah, you went down the train there, John. Went down the train.
And I got to get my commie punch in for the day.
You got to. Got to get it in every day. It's either commies or some sort of phallic reference. Something's going to pop up. But
commie pickles. Okay. That's the next one.
Commie pickles. That's the worst. Well, this is number 12, and then I'm gonna show you why here. So, quote, same guy. The news media need to be brave enough to let Americans see what slaughtered children look like. Otherwise, I fear that too many perceive gun violence as an abstract, a story that's repeated every day to numbing effect. Mellencamp continued, or Cougar continued per your request. This falls in the category of you're going to lose the middle. This is something that we are seeing right now. Both sides, left and right, Tim, we've talked about this multiple times. They cannot continue their reigns of power without some sort of gaining in the middle, right? It's not possible. You've got far right, well, not far right, excuse me. You've got right, you've got left, about 30% each. Well, 35 to 40% are right there in that middle. If you start losing your return on investment on the far extremes of the left in this example, you're going to get even more extreme to get those same people to react and respond, whether it be donations, whether it be votes, whether it be rallies, whatever it is. Then, because you're going further left, you're going to lose more of the middle. They're jumping the shark.
Yeah. No, that's
my thoughts.
No, that's exactly what they do. And again, I just find this totally tasteless to even discuss this. The fact that he brought this up, it's so typical of them. It is. So
yeah,
I don't know.
It is. But there's reasoning though. Listen, this is from wise experience. This is the last one. This last torture thing I'm going to do to you.
Okay.
The singer who questioned the Second Amendment on his 2023 song saying, "Hey God," likened the situation to the Vietnam War, where protest against the conflict only increased when footage of the brutality of the war was shown on news broadcast. Yeah, that's the same.
Yeah,
that's the same.
Yeah, and that worked out so well, because what did that do? I mean, I don't know if it did or didn't, but I mean, I'm sure that had something to do with the riots and everything else, Kent State, and people getting shot and all the craziness.
Wait a minute.
And then the military stopped the embedding. What's that?
I said there's a correlation.
I remember during the war in Iraq or Afghanistan, where they had Marines that were battling with some insurgents, and they had to go into a building. They had an embedded reporter. The Marines walk in and do what they do. They made sure that all the combatants were dead by shooting them, because many times they'll play dead or lay on a grenade or something like that. And they had an embedded reporter that showed that, and the outrage that came afterwards was just outrageous. Oh my gosh, they're shooting people that are defenseless. Now, 10 seconds ago, they were trying to kill me and my guys. So no, they're not defenseless. I just want to make sure they're dead. But see, that's why you don't embed reporters and you don't show dead children. It's tasteless. And then in the case of the military, you're keeping them from being able to do their jobs, because now they're scared to do their jobs because they're afraid they're going to get published in the nightly news, and then everything.
Well, it's the same thing as
they get death threats and everything else. Or in
the same thing as cops in blue cities. They won't arrest people because they're afraid of XYZ. They won't engage and they won't show up because they're going to get sued, or they're going to get arrested, or they're going to get blamed for something. So they just don't show up.
So they just don't do it.
You're spot on. They just don't do it because self-preservation takes over. Duh.
Because when the cameras start rolling and things get taken out of context or whatever, and look, crime and policing can be an ugly business. It just is.
Correct.